People who know this game's ins and outs. Oh my gosh, I did it! Oh my gosh, I did it! Okay, now if only I can... You wanna know another really interesting thing about this game? The lore of it. Oh, yeah. These segments of the castle are fun. Hello, spectators, and welcome to the show. It is your host, Mosaic Arts, here with the very first Super Mario Bros.
Hello!
Again, I'm going to keep this pretty short and simple. We play Nintendo games on this channel, and that is what we're doing this time around. So, when it comes to the interesting things of which there are to say about this game, for one thing, it's very well designed. I'm not going to get into it right now, but let me just say, this very first section of the game does a very good job at teaching you everything you need to know about the game. When it comes to this first level, I'm not going to be commentating much because, if I gotta be honest with you, there's just not much to say. It's 1-1, it's a pretty simple level, somebody made an EXE game on it that totally isn't me, and yeah, we're already done with it. Well, the very first thing I think I want to talk about is, well, Super Mario Bros., you really gotta give it credit for something big. That being that, it basically saved the game industry. Yeah, no joke. I think people know about this, but, like, basically I think it was it was before my time, so, like, I could be not getting my facts right on this, but, like, as far as I know, Super Mario Bros. Was one of those games that, like... Hold on, let me, fix something real quick. Much better. But yeah, it's literally what I talked about, basically. Where it's like, yeah, basically I believe in, like, what was it, the 80s this had happened? There was a huge video game crash, because basically we had gone into this situation where basically, like, there was too many game consoles all out at the same time, too many games are coming out that were releasing insanely buggy with low quality, amongst a bunch of other things like that. And so what this led to is a bunch of games weren't selling, a bunch of game cartridges ended up getting scrapped. I even heard rumors of there being entire junkyards filled with them. There's something interesting I kind of want to try here. Let's see if it works. Let's see if we can do it. Think you need the brick to be there to do it. Actually, let's see if we can do this. Oh yeah. People who know this game's ins and outs. Oh my gosh, I did it! Oh my gosh, I did it! Okay, now if only I can... Okay, so if only I can... Okay, wait, I did it! The game didn't scroll! Let me just try this again. Okay, wait a minute, I think I know how this is done. I know how this is done. Let me try this again. What you want to do is move the camera enough this way to do this. Okay. Yeah. I know what I'm doing. People who know this game's in and out know what I'm trying to do right now. Almost. Oh, no, Mario. Hurry up and get this right so I can show people what this is and how it works. Dude, I did this so perfectly when I didn't do it right, but now that I actually am doing it the right way, I can't actually do it. Fine, right? It's me, the Game Breaker! We'll see if you actually become that, Mario. Where would your brother Luigi be right now, by the way? Oh, you know him. He's off doing secret agent work. He wouldn't tell me what he was doing, though. I mean, makes sense. Secret agent work is secret after all, right? Yes, I suppose so. Finally! That just took me, oh, I don't know, 20 minutes of my time, but hey, finally I can show you guys this. Yeah, we have the Minus World, which, you want to know a fun fact about this world? It's a glitch, for one thing, but here's where the real surprise comes in. You didn't see it. Yeah, so a lot of people honestly know this part. A lot of people know this place from, honestly, Super Mario Bros. Z. Like, that's probably the thing that introduced a lot of people to it. But, yeah. It's like this underwater level where things seem to be, you know, normal enough. But then you get to this pipe and... Whoa, what is this? We're at the beginning of the level again? That is so weird. So yeah, that's this level's little secret, spectators. You are trapped here forever.
Forever! Forever! Forever!
So yeah, this is what I spent 20 minutes of my time to show you guys. So, you want to know something else? That pipe at the end. All that re-entering it will do is just take you back to the start over and over and over again. So, you're only left with one choice. Die and game over. That was the Minus World Detour. Now, let's go back to the normal game. And we're back where we were before. But yeah, continuing on, like, talking about the subject I was talking about earlier, about Super Mario Bros. Basically saving the game industry. Not only did this game sell, like, absolute, like hotcakes and stuff, like, for a while, it was actually the best-selling game of all time until, Wii Sports, of all things, was the game that ultimately dethroned it. I'm pretty shocked by that too, but that is in fact what the case was with that.
You didn't see it.
Nowadays, Super Mario Bros. Is no longer the best-selling game of all time, but it still comes pretty close, even in spite of that. Like, it's still in the top 10 highest-selling games of all time, behind titles like, Minecraft and Terraria and other ones like that. When it comes to other interesting facts about this game, one thing about this game that I find pretty interesting is the fact that when it actually comes to how Nintendo designed Mario as a character, when it came down to it in a lot of ways, they designed Mario in a way deliberately that he'd be very easy to design as a character. Like, literally because of, like, "Thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle!" Nice. Got it. Get ready to hear that.
6 more times, by the way.
Spectators. Ow. Seriously? Anyway. But yeah, when it comes to how Nintendo designed Mario, it's actually very interesting. From what I understand, it came down to a thing where it was like Nintendo using effectively cheat codes when it came to how they designed Mario, so they didn't have to animate a lot of stuff that they otherwise wouldn't have to. Like, what they said basically as I came down to was this. They had Mario wear a cap because of the fact that, like, they wanted to avoid animating hair.
Mamma mia!
They also mentioned that, like, they gave Mario a mustache because they wanted to avoid animating facial expressions. I guess because his facial hair would be covering them. But yeah, that's actually what I kind of heard when it came to how they designed Mario, is that they deliberately designed him in a way to where it's like, they wouldn't have to, like, design as many expressions with him and stuff as they might have had to otherwise, to make him easier to design, which is very interesting that they would do that. Speaking of interesting topics, you want to know another really interesting thing about this game? The lore of it. Namely, what I'm talking about is the whole thing where the stories, of course, Bowser kidnapped Princess Toadstool and stuff, and he transformed a bunch of the toads in the blocks with his evil black magic and stuff. So, a very common misinterpretation that people have of the story is that every civilian in the Mushroom Kingdom that, like, you know, was turned into a brick block, the ones you actually break. You didn't see it. But from what I have actually heard on that whole topic, really what it is that it's like the toads are actually turned into the question blocks that you get power-ups from, actually. While the brick blocks on the other hand, are just generic bricks. Now, this misinterpretation has led to many a jokes from many a YouTuber over the many years of YouTube and stuff, but that's the thing that's kind of funny about it, is that I'm pretty sure that that whole aspect is actually a misinterpretation, where it's actually kind of like, no, the only blocks that were actually transformed toads were the ones that you actually get power-ups from. In other words, the ones that don't ultimately get destroyed. Which, yeah, recontextualizes a whole lot of Mario's actions compared to what many on the internet would have you believe that they are. So, yeah, that's certainly the case. That is certainly something the internet really loves to do when it comes to, like, almost any fairly innocent thing in games ever. How can we take this thing and make it as dark and twisted as possible? Yeah, thanks for that, Game Theory, for doing that. By the way, don't get me wrong, I love you, Game Theory, but, I don't know, sometimes you gotta cool your jets a little bit, if you know what I'm saying. By the way, speaking of interesting lore behind the Mario series, you didn't see it, speaking of interesting lore behind the Mario series, I said this in a stream prior, but, like, another interesting thing about, like, by the way, if you haven't noticed, yeah, you can just defeat Bowser, or more so the fake Bowser's fireballs. Thank you, Mario, for saying her castle. I have to say this before you continue the game, because I only have, like, 30 seconds of screen time, so I have to say it before I was gone forever. Mamma mia, that Toad was upset. Yeah, no kidding, Mario. Okay, but yeah, basically, there is something, no joke, in the manual of, like, the very first Super Mario Bros., when it pertains to, like, Mario specifically, that literally says, and I do not know why this is, I have no idea why it says this. When it's talking about the story of the game and talking about Mario saving the princess, it says, no joke, Mario, the hero of the story, maybe. That last bit obviously being the weird one. What does Nintendo mean, maybe? Yeah, that's odd. That's very odd. That is very odd. Like, Nintendo, what are you not telling us about what's actually going on in the Mario games? It's like, what are you not telling us? I have no idea what they're not telling us. Mario, what do you have to say about this? What do you have to say about these crazy accusations? It's me, Mario, the hero of the story! Oh, so he doesn't have anything to say about this, in other words. I see. I mean, come on, No, not you, right, Mario? No! Bowser's the one who's trying to take over the kingdom! All I've been trying to do is stop him and save the Princess Peach! I see. So that's your case, Mario. I got it. I see how it is. Hey, that is how you do it. That is how you beat these levels, yeah. I know that went on for a long time, but I don't care because I need to figure out things to say, yeah. And that's the third Toad we have saved. Thank you, Mario. Castle. Mamma mia! How many more castles do I have to go to? I don't know. But if I had to guess, you have about 4 more castles to go to before you find the princess. Mamma mia! Yeah. That is very much the case, Mario. Too bad. That is the case. It's me, the one who is acing all of these stages to rescue this princess that I just saw get captured. Because yeah, that is actually in fact the story when it comes to the Mario games, is that literally Mario and Luigi, wherever the heck Luigi is, he's doing secret agent business. What did I already tell you? I see, I got it. I understand. That makes perfect sense. But yeah, basically it is kind of interesting when you think about that. Like, that's basically the entire... Ow! That's basically the whole thing where that's going on in this game, is that they saw a human apprentice being captured by some big turtle monster, and the first thing they decided to do was like, we need to save her. Yeah, see? I don't know. It's funny that Nintendo puts that in. Mario the hero of the story, maybe. But to me, the evidence adds up to... Mario's a good guy. He saw somebody being kidnapped, and the first thing he says is, I need to go save her. So, I don't know. Mario seems like a pretty good guy in my book. Though, I don't know. The plot kind of thickens when you start to remember things like the fact that, like, 3 words and 1 game. Donkey Kong Circus. I am not going to go into detail about that game right now. You guys, if anything, can look into it. Yeah. Donkey Kong Circus. That is all I'm going to say about that. Hey! Another level, another part done. Oh, yeah. These segments of the castle are fun. Like, seriously, you know, having to find the right way and stuff. Like, isn't that so fun with no hints or guides whatsoever of how, which way you're supposed to go, having to just find the right way? Oh, wow. Good thing I already was able to do it because I had it all memorized. Yum! Gotcha! Bowser, take that! Wrecked! Thank you, Mario! But our princess is in another castle! Cool. But yeah, that's the very first half of this game. We're going to split this into 2 parts where the first half of this game, we did the first 4 worlds. Next half, we're going to do the second half of worlds. With that being said, though, Mosaic Arts is leaving the building. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more family-friendly gaming content pertaining to Nintendo, Sonic, Mega Man, and otherwise. And until next time, spectators, see you in the next show.